When our lips finally met, I understood why people write songs about first kisses. Emma was leaving. The news hit me harder than I'd expected when she announced it over breakfast at our usual cafe near the night market. She'd been offered a last-minute assignment photographing a music festival in Vietnam, and her flight was that evening. "It's too good an opportunity to pass up," she said, but I could see the conflict in her eyes as she looked between Cayman and me. The exposure alone could launch my photography career. "That's amazing," I said, trying to inject enthusiasm into my voice. "You should absolutely go." "But the timing is terrible," she continued. "I feel like I'm abandoning you too right when things are getting interesting." Cayman reached across the table and squeezed her hand. "We'll be fine, Em. This is your chance." "I know, but—" She stopped, studying our faces. "Oh my God. Something happened. Something big happened and you didn't tell me." I felt heat creep up my neck. "Nothing happened." "Bullshit. You're both practically glowing." Her eyes narrowed. "And you're sitting closer than usual. And Cayman keeps looking at your mouth when he thinks I'm not watching." "Emma," Cayman warned. "I knew it." She clapped her hands together, drawing stares from other patrons. "I fucking knew it." "When? Where? Oh. Give me everything." "There's nothing to give," I protested weakly. "Ryan Mitchell, if you don't tell me exactly what happened between you two, I will make the most embarrassing scene this cafe has ever witnessed." Given Emma's capacity for drama, that was a genuine threat. "We talked," Cayman said simply. "We figured some things out." "What kind of things?" "Personal things," I said. "Oh, personal things. How wonderfully vague." She leaned forward conspiratorially. "Did you kiss?" "Emma," we both said at the same time. "That's a yes." "Oh my God, that's absolutely a yes." She sat back with a satisfied smile. "I can't believe I'm going to miss the good part." "There might not be a good part," I said quietly. "I'm still leaving in 2 weeks." Her expression sobered. "Right. The leaving thing." An uncomfortable silence settled over the table. It was the elephant we'd all been ignoring, the fact that whatever was happening between Cayman and me had a built-in expiration date. "Well," Emma said finally, "then you'd better make those 2 weeks count." We spent the rest of the morning helping Emma pack and making plans to get her to the airport. But as the afternoon wore on, I found myself dreading her departure more than I'd expected. Emma had been our buffer, our excuse to spend time together without having to define what we were doing. Without her, Cayman and I would have to figure out what we were to each other. "I'm going to miss you," I told her as we stood in the departure area of the airport. "I'm going to miss you too," she said, pulling me into a fierce hug. "But more importantly, I'm going to miss watching you two idiots figure out you're crazy about each other." "We're not." "Stop." She pulled back and fixed me with a serious look. "Ryan, listen to me. I've known Cayman for 6 months, and I have never seen him look at anyone the way he looks at you. Not even Art Hit. His grandmother told me about Art Hit." "Good. Then you understand why he's scared." Her grip on my arms tightened. "But you should also understand why this is different. Art Hit never saw Cayman, not really. He saw potential, a project to improve. You see him exactly as he is and think he's perfect. I don't think he's perfect. You think he's perfect for you? That's what matters." She was right and we both knew it. "What if I hurt him?" I asked quietly. "You will hurt him," she said matter-of-factly. "The question is whether you hurt him by leaving or by being too scared to love him properly while you're here." Before I could respond, she was hugging Cayman goodbye and extracting promises that we'd email her with updates. Then she was disappearing through security with a final wave, leaving us standing in the airport feeling suddenly unmoored. "Drink?" Cayman suggested as we walked back to his truck. "God, yes." He took me to a rooftop bar I'd never seen before, one that locals apparently knew about but tourists didn't. We sat at a table overlooking the city, nursing beers and watching the sun set behind the mountains in comfortable silence. "She's right, you know," Cayman said eventually. "About what?" "About us being idiots." I looked at him, this man who had somehow become the center of my world, and felt something click into place. "Yeah," I said. "She is." "So what do we do about it?" Instead of answering, I stood up and moved to the chair beside his, close enough that our knees touched. Close enough that I could see the flecks of gold in his eyes, could smell his cologne mixed with the evening air. "This," I said and kissed him. It wasn't like the soft, tentative kiss from the temple steps. This was deliberate, certain, the kiss of someone who had stopped pretending he didn't want exactly this. Cayman's sharp intake of breath was swallowed by my mouth, and then his hand was in my hair and he was kissing me back with something that felt like relief. When we broke apart, both breathing hard, I rested my forehead against his. I want you, I said quietly. I don't know what that means long term, and I don't know how to navigate the whole gay thing, and I definitely don't know how to handle the fact that I'm leaving. But I want you, and I'm tired of pretending I don't. Ryan, he breathed. Is that okay? Can we want each other even if it's complicated? It's more than okay, he said, his thumb tracing along my jaw. It's everything I've been hoping you'd say. Really? Really? He smiled, soft and real and devastating. I've been falling for you since the moment you tried to bow in that temple. Watching you figure yourself out, watching you be brave enough to be honest about what you want, it's been incredible. I feel like I don't know anything, I admitted. About being with a man, about what I want, about any of this. That's okay. We'll figure it out together. Even though I'm leaving? Especially because you're leaving, he said. It means we don't have time to waste being scared. He was right. 2 weeks wasn't long enough to build something permanent, but it was long enough to be honest about what we wanted while we had the chance. So what happens now? I asked. Now we go back to my place, he said, standing and offering me his hand. And we stop overthinking everything. His apartment was small but comfortable, decorated with photographs and artwork that told the story of someone who had deep roots in this place. We stood in his living room for a moment, the weight of possibility heavy between us. Are you nervous? He asked. Terrified, I admitted. But in a good way. Me too. Really? But you've done this before. Not with you, he said simply. Not with someone who matters this much. The honesty of it took my breath away. Before I could lose my nerve, I stepped closer and kissed him again, pouring all my uncertainty and want and hope into the press of our lips. He responded immediately, his arms coming around me, pulling me closer until there was no space left between us. Ryan, he murmured against my mouth. Yeah. Are you sure about this? I looked at him, really looked, taking in the warmth in his eyes, the careful way he was holding me like I might break or disappear. This man who had shown me his city, his culture, his grandmother. Who had been patient with my confusion and gentle with my fears. Who made me feel more like myself than I'd ever felt in my life. I'm sure, I said. And I was. Whatever happened in 2 weeks, whatever heartbreak was waiting for us, this moment was real. This feeling was real. And for the first time in my life that was enough. Good, he said, smiling against my lips. Because I love you. The words hung in the air between us, brave and terrifying and perfect. I love you too, I whispered and felt something that had been knotted tight in my chest finally unfurl. When he kissed me again, it tasted like truth and possibility and the beginning of something that might break my heart but was absolutely worth the risk. Outside, Chiang Mai glittered in the darkness, temple bells creating a gentle soundtrack to the night. But inside Cayman's small apartment, the world had shrunk to just us, just this, just the infinite possibility contained in 3 small words and the promise of morning.